Welcome Andrew Procyk back up to the stage.
I lit my first cigarette in years today, off of the same metal coil lighter from the '96 Hyundai Accent that I passed to you so often so that you could light your cigarette after I lit mine. I lit my first cigarette in years today, remembering everything they can destroy and remembering how the two of us would joke about how we were killing ourselves when we passed that metal coil, a lighter, a candle, or some other small flickering flame to one another. Sometimes jump-starting one cigarette right off of the other, offering up tobacco smoke, the devil's incense to the god of the moment for the sake of controlling flame with our breath. I lit my first cigarette in years today, and it reminded me of all the time I'd spent dying with you. Dying in your room, wind caressing lavender curtain wisps as we passed smoke from our lips that was carried out your window on the morning breeze after nights of passion that left us on our knees, and we would ironically snuff out our sticks of death on the crystal heart-shaped ashtray on your nightstand. One step closer to death above crystal Appalachian streams as we made Carolina dreams and flicked the ashes to the current and watched them sail after mountainside romance did our death exhale, and we couldn't quite tell what was the smoke and what was our breath. But they both faded in that crisp mountain air, as did our oneness over time. Killing ourselves under perfect sky lunar eclipses as we shared Merlot and tobacco kisses under serene blackness in vast expanse, constellations of heaven left us entranced, blowing our gray clouds upward to mingle with the stars and the overshadowed moon. Death on the dock at Lake Jackson, death with every cup of coffee at the Waffle House in which we discerned the meaning of the world, death on the way to your childhood school in Quincy where we broke 100 miles per hour down that dreary tree-lined road, death in poppy-adorned valleys where you almost disappeared between the blooms, in the same state where we bought our first carton together, dying when we promised our feelings for one another wouldn't, and dying along with our time together while seated on the edge of the bed in the back room of that humid, sweaty Tallahassee apartment to the song that I can still hear on repeat play on the radio. When I'm without you, I feel as hollow as a bone. Leaving us to look back on our path together, only to find thousands of nicotine-stained butts as reminders of almost every instance. I lit my first cigarette in years today, and it reminded me of all the time I'd spent dying with you. And it reminded me that the time I'd spent dying with you was some of the only time I'd actually spent living.
From Lodi we have an 8.7. We have a 9.5. We have a 9.7.
Well, there was time reduction.
Time reduction.
Only a itty-bitty one.
Okay.
So the score was 27.4.
27.4 for Andrew Procyk.